Hi, dear students. Hope you all are keeping fine. Be home and stay safe. Today, we are going to discuss about three topics: list, tuple, and data abstraction in structure. First, let us discuss about list and tuple. What is the use of list and tuple? It is a concrete way to do data abstraction. Some of the programming languages like Python provides structure called pair, which is made up of list or tuple. So list and tuple are the way to implement data abstraction. So what is a list? List is constructed by placing expression within square brackets separated by commas. So we have an example here: y equal to 5 comma 6 comma 2 comma 6 is an example for list. So list is a set of values which are given within square brackets. So let us see the difference between list and tuple. First difference is that list is mutable and tuple is immutable. So you may know the word meaning mutable and immutable. Mutable means you can make some changes in the values. Immutable means you cannot make any change. So that is the second point. We can make changes like adding values, removing values, sorting, etc. So in list, we can add a value or remove a value or make some modification in that or make a sorting in that, but these things cannot be done in tuple. We cannot modify the values in tuple. How can we represent a list? A list can be represented with the help of a square bracket. Y equal to, within the square bracket I have given the values 5 comma 6 comma 2 comma 6. So how can we identify whether the given value belongs to a list or tuple? Is with the help of the square bracket. At the same time, tuple can be represented in any of these manner, either within simple parenthesis or even without a simple parenthesis. You can represent the tuple. This can be used, which one? List can be used along with programs where changes occurs frequently. Wherever we need a change in the values frequently, we can use the list. At the same time, immutable tuple can be used in programs where no changes occur. The fifth difference between list and tuple is list is generated slowly and tuple is generated fastly. Sixth program where we can use this list and tuple, or along with what kind of data we can use list and tuple. When we are using list, the amount of data should be less and those are mutable, where you want to make some changes or where less amount of data is used. Along with those data, you can use list. At the same time, tuple can be used along with huge amount of data where the values are immutable. You need not change any value at any time. So as a seventh point, I have given an example for list. Marks scored in different subjects. So mark is a list where the values of each person can be changed. Each subject's mark can be changed. So there is a frequently generated change or mutation in list. At the same time, the exam register number is not going to be changed. It's an immutable value. So tuple can be used along with immutable values. How can we access the values which are specified? Is with the help of the index value or the positional value. Index value or positional value. Index value always starts from 0. The index value always starts from or commences from 0. The value 0. So if you want to access any of the values, you can access it with the help of the index value or the positional value. From the third point, if we want to access the value in it, it can be accessed as y of 0, y of 1, y of 2 and y of 3. So when we are giving y of 0, the value will be 5, the first value. The first value or the index value is 0, and when we represent it as y of 0, the value will be 5 in it. And when we give y of 1, the value will be 6. The value will be 6. When we are giving y of 2, the value will be 2. And when we are giving y of 3, the value will be 6. The same way in the tuple also we can access the values. Okay, so if you want to access the values from a list or a tuple, the index value or the positional values can be used. So index value or positional value always starts from 0. So let us see a small program in Python programming and let us understand how the list and tuple works. So dear students, now we are in Python screen. I have already assigned the values x is equal to 5, 6, 2, 6 as tuple and y equal to in square bracket 5, 6, 2, 6 as list. So how to access the values from a list and tuple? That is what we are going to see now. So now we have already seen that if you want to access a value from a list or tuple, you have to access it, or we can access it only with the help of the index value or positional value. So here the index value of 5 is 0, 6 is 1, 2 is 2 and 6 is 3. The same in y also. So let us see how the value will be displayed. So we'll give print x of 1, x of 1 and print y of 2, y of 2. So now let us run the program by run save. First run. So when we run the program, we will be getting the values as 6 and 2. The value from the tuple as 6 and the value from the list as 2. So in order to access the values from a list or a tuple, we can access it by the index value or positional value. Data abstraction in structure. What is a structure? Structure is a group of data items of different data types represented using a single name. So we have already learned how we define a variable. So variable can be defined with the data type. So when we define a variable, a single value can be stored. At the same time, when we define a structure or when we define an array, we know that you can store many values in a single name. So here structure is used for storing different data items of different types in a single name. So here we have an example as we are creating a class known as person. So we know that each and every human being we can indicate as a person. So person can get the values of anyone of any type. So here class person is the class name. Creation is a function belonging to the new type. So what are the new data type you are going to add is created with the help of the function creation. And what are the variables or fields you're going to create is first name, last name, ID, email. So these are the variables which you are going to create as new. So first name, last name, ID, email, all these values what we get are not of the same data type. It may be characters, string, or may include special characters or may include numbers, etc., etc. So all these things can be accommodated in a structure. So a structure is a group of data items of different types represented under a single name. As a conclusion, we can define a class as bundled data and the function that works on that data. So we have two things in a structure or in a class. One is bundled data. There are a lot of data in it and there are functions which works on that data. So I think you all understood about list, tuples and data abstraction in structure.